Collective, what is up? Welcome. We're just going to slow it down. We're going to take deep breaths. Keeping up with those deep breaths, I'm going to start up an incense here while you guys settle down. I have my tea, I have my water. I'm prepared for this reading. I think going into this reading, the process of it, all I'm going to say is collective, heavy, okay? And I'm going to put that out there, but I'm also going to put out believe, the word believe. I want to put that out there. So take that as it resonates and implement that in how and in your life and however you want to define that collective. I'm lighting this incense for many things. First of all, full moon in Gemini is here. So we want to take heed on what we're saying. We want to take heed on how we are expressing ourselves. This comes down to the simple factor. This comes down to the simplest things, the most detailed, minute things in your life that is coming to surface and really having you to face your own identity, your individuality. The process of going into this reading, collective, I think I may be going through a slight and what feels like slight depression. And every year, I think for me, like I get this wave of sadness just all of a sudden. And every year for the last maybe like 5-6 years, in this season, I'm always going through this going into self-reflection and what feels like real deep emotional healing. Okay. Although this year I feel that it's a little different for me. Last year, I still remember last year very vividly, but I feel like going into this season is completely different. My perception is completely different. My perspective is completely different. So for a lot of you, collective, you may be feeling a whole lot of that. You may be feeling a whole lot of clearing. And this isn't like clearing that you've experienced before. It's a feeling of like deep emotional wounds healing. This is rooted in childhood trauma and it never stops, right? It never freaking stops. 323 on the timestamp. Number 3 could be very significant for some of you guys, or number 2. Just gonna drink my tea here. Heavy on rest. Heavy on, I'm gonna get you guys an affirmation here in just a second. Heavy on rest, heavy on mental rest, heavy on spiritual rest. This also comes down to physical rest, and a lot of it too. I'm talking to the ones who have been in trauma body. I think for the most part, safe space is for the ones who have been through great and have experienced great trauma. Just gonna put that out there for you guys. I don't speak about that very much in my readings. I just like jump into my readings right away and then, let you guys decide how you want to resonate it. Let you guys decide how you want to connect with it in your life, however that means for you, whatever that means for you, collective. But I feel that my messages are for individuals who have been in great trauma, stepping out of that trauma and healing from that. And a lot of my readings, I feel like, speaks to a lot of our people who are willing to heal from that. And I think a lot of the messages and the downloads that I get for you guys is about healing and deep healing, 505 on the timestamp. I think it also comes down to times when you feel like you're in uncertainty. And these messages and these downloads that come to me in times of uncertainty, it's like an order. It's orchestrated. And these messages also comes to me in order to relay to you at the time it needs to be relayed, if that makes any sense. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Trust. Heavy emphasis on trust. See, this is also, I think, is rooted in childhood trauma, because a lot of us have lost deep trust, right? A lot of us have lost a lot of our trust in ourselves, therefore not really trusting anybody else around us, even family, right? Especially family for some of us. We are in need of emotional care. We are in need of mental care. And a lot of what this season may be coming up for you, a lot of what is surfacing for a lot of us collective, like this is all rooted in childhood. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. A lot of us also are feeling heavy. I feel that also. I feel a lot of it like on my chest. And also I feel a lot of back pain. I've been feeling a lot of back pain, a lot of pressure on my back. So if that is something that you're resonating with, take that with you, collective. I also noticed that my voice is a lot more bigger. Like I'm noticing that how I'm expressing myself is really rooted in truth. And it's crazy to me because I've never been this aware about my expressions and my feelings and my emotions before. And like I said earlier about going into this season every year in the last 5 years, I've been clearing all of this energy, like old beliefs about myself. This is like rooted in old beliefs about myself, old conditionings and old patterns that have now been cleared up. And stepping into this season, I feel like I'm getting more clarity. I feel a lot more clarity. And I think, collective, when things start to clear up even more, okay, pay attention. And I feel like this could be resonating with a lot of you in time of solitude, because right now, a lot of us are isolating, a lot of us are hibernating, a lot of us are staying in and in reflection. And it is that time, it's that season to really look into what your body is telling you and paying attention to where it wants you to go, where it's leading you up to, instead of you going against it and going to a path that you know is not good for you. But because a lot of this emotional, nasty, deep wounds rooted in your childhood is coming to surface, you are wanting to direct yourself in a place where it could be very harmful for you, like almost to, you're risking yourself to get into trouble. You are risking yourself in making the wrong choices because you're feeling emotional pain. And for a lot of us who have been through a lot of trauma and a lot of repressed emotional wounds, unmet emotional wounds, you are going to have that urge to have that temporary fix, that instant gratification that you know you will regret after you do that thing. So take that as it resonates, whatever that means for you. This is a vice that you have been holding on to, a really bad habit that you've been holding on to. And it could be different for a lot of us. That can be defined differently for a lot of us because our traumas are different. Like we experienced trauma differently. And it also goes back to like our culture, your background, I'm getting a lot on Asian culture, where you are with yourself and your emotions now in this season is completely different from where you were, I'm hearing 3 years ago. So that is a very specific message for some of you. So take that as it resonates. Collective, going into October. Let's talk about October for a second. And this is just like, I want to say like this reading is more about like insights and wisdom that we've gained, right? From all of this challenges that we have faced. But I want to go back to October and where October led us to be and where it led us, okay? It's hard to even talk about it just because I feel it in my heart very deeply. And I feel that October really, I'm getting this image of like, this image that you had about yourself. This is probably something that had came up in October for you. Take this as it resonates, collective. It may not resonate for a lot of you, but it may for some. I'm getting this image that you thought you were where you were with yourself. Okay. This image, this appearance, this image that you had and that you had pictured of yourself. Okay. And October during Scorpio season, perhaps. Let's say Scorpio season just really like knocked a lot of us out of our senses, I think. And a lot of that agony, a lot of that pain you felt, right? And it also really made you realize that the image that you had of yourself is now shattering and have shattered. And now you're seeing yourself in the mirror completely different. But the simple fact is, this person that you're seeing now is actually who you are, okay? And this image that you carried with you this whole time before going into Scorpio season, that was all pretend, is what I'm getting. A lot of pretending, a lot of masking, a lot of what you thought came from and rooted from pain. I'm hearing shattered dreams, going into a different direction because I'm hearing some things were just 333 on the timestamp. Some things were just not in alignment for you. And perhaps you weren't in alignment with yourself and your values. You weren't in alignment with your values and what you wanted for yourself. Therefore, really like pushing you in a direction where you weren't really gaining anything, like you weren't picking up any insights or like perhaps maybe a different perspective that you needed. And so this image that you carried with you for so long, I don't know how long this is, so take this as it resonates for you. This image that you carried with you is now completely shattered. And perhaps you had something to do with that, collective, is what I'm getting. And I'm not getting anything bad about it, honestly. I think it's just like your old self shedding. And it had to. Because where you are heading to, collective, it cannot survive there. Where you are headed to requires you to shed old beliefs about yourself and to heal old conditionings of the self. And a lot of what we had experienced in our childhood, and a lot also where trauma is placed, you are now having to face that, and it's surfacing in this season, and you're having to really rethink a lot of things about this image that you thought you were. And so as you step into this new world, right, your mind is expanding, your intuition is growing, is really having you like be more aware of this person that you're seeing now in the mirror. This image completely shattered and leaving you only with your truth. Collective. That's very heavy, heavy message here. I have my notes here for you guys also. This is really having to see the self that you didn't want to see because you couldn't accept yourself as that person. But I think this season, Sagittarius season, is really pushing you to be accepting of that person, to be accepting of that image. And this is your true essence. And perhaps you weren't accepting of your true essence at first. Take that as it resonates. It's probably something that you weren't completely 100% aware of, because there was so much trauma and adversity on top of it, on top of trauma, on top of trauma, on top of trauma. Scorpio season happened. Boom. Shattered this image completely. And you are now coming into this place of evolution, self-evolution, and you're seeing yourself in a different way, different character. But the fact is, you have been this person. You just didn't see yourself as that person. Everyone else seen you as this person, but you didn't. So you're stepping into a new place where you're seeing things in a different way, and you're kind of just like, how do I defend myself? How do I put myself in a place where I am comfortable, because I'm not really comfortable with this image just yet? I think a lot of that comes from and is rooted from conditionings and trauma. I think a lot of what you are feeling about that is rooted in opinions of others. You know what I'm saying? Ugh, I love this. I'm getting a lot on like, you are one, take this as it resonates, collective. This may not be resonating with a lot of you, but I'm getting a lot of like, you are so eager and willing to heal aspects of you that you didn't think could ever heal. Okay, Four of Wands. You're in defense about it. You're in defense mode about it. But not in a bad way where you are harming anybody and being defensive. It's more so that you are having to stand up for yourself and what you believe in. It's kind of like, I'm picturing like an outcast here, okay? Somebody who is completely different from the crowd. Somebody who is out of the crowd. And you're really seeing yourself from a distance away from everyone, but you're seeing everybody from where you are, and you're seeing everything from a bigger perspective, bigger vision. And while everyone is on the other side and you're over here looking at everybody, you're thinking, does anybody see me here? And they may not even see you, collective, because you're healing. And these people on the other side, I'm getting this image of like, these people on the other side, they're not willing to heal. So why put yourself in their space where you know you're going to just hurt yourself? 10 of Swords, bottom of the deck. You're only really hurting yourself by putting yourself in a situation with people that really don't see your growth or see your value. And perhaps now that you're seeing your worth, okay, now that you're seeing your worth, it's become a different world for you. And you are perhaps leaving people behind, and you may feel like people are leaving you behind, but it's only really for the better. And that part, sometimes we're not able to accept right away. Like, it takes time for us to accept that. And it also takes a lot of time to self-appreciate. And that part people don't really see. There are a lot of things that we see that others do not see about us. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are a lot of things that we do on a daily that people do not see. There are a lot of things that we feel that people cannot feel and people don't see us feel. Did I say that right? But you know this to be true, and you know this path to be true. And so you continue on to be the person you need to be, and continuing on this path that you replaced. And I think it's really having to really have you appreciate everything that you have conquered, everything that you've overcame. Your eagerness, your willingness is showing, and perhaps it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the people on the other side are very uncomfortable with it. And you are also very uncomfortable with it because you also want to be seen as someone who has overcome something, who has overcame something. And the encouragement and the appreciation also, and the support from other people would be nice. But I'm also getting that we cannot expect people to treat us in such a way because they haven't really seen the world that you've seen. It's kind of like wherever you are with your perception, other people may not see it in the same level. Where people are with their perception is exactly how they're going to see you. Sometimes it just works that way. And so here you are, collective, and you're stepping into this place of healing. Your eagerness, your willingness it's growing, and you're finding yourself to be more in clarity. You're seeing the good in less. You're seeing and appreciating what is in less. I'm getting, if you are one who is homeless and you're watching this, if you are one going from couch to couch, I'm getting this image of somebody like moving from couch to couch. Like your friend's couch, for instance. Like you're moving from your friend's couch to your mom's couch to, and you're finding yourself to be helpless, right? Like there's no hope for tomorrow, that type of feeling. These waves of emotions come to you, and that you go in easily into a spiral. Excuse me. As waves of sadness is and could easily make you go into a spiral. Okay, collective. That is a reminder for some of us. That may not resonate for a lot of you, but that is an energy that is coming up for me. But if you are one who is homeless and you're finding yourself to be like jumping from couch to couch and apartment to another, and you're struggling emotionally and mentally, and you're just needing this care and love and support from somebody, but just remember that in you having to continue on this path, although you are mentally tired and emotionally tired, you keep up with this positive attitude in moving forward, and believing that this willingness and this eagerness to be on a certain path, to be in a very unique, authentic path, you know that it's going to get you somewhere. And I truly believe that if you believe in that even more, like in times when you feel like you are being put in challenges that is just weighing you down, I'm getting a lot of that in this Ten of Swords, and it's very uncomfortable. And I think this card is coming up just because this is what you need. You need to laugh. You need love, you need laughter is medicine. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're just watching something on YouTube that's funny, or if you scroll on social media and you see something, or look for like a movie, a comedy movie, and watch that and just sit there and soak in that laughter. It's what I'm getting. This is what I'm getting when you feel this wave of sadness and then you start to spiral. I'm here to tell you to like watch a movie to, you know, switch up your perspective a little bit and open you up to something different. I've been watching a lot of movies. I've been staying in a lot. I've been meditating. I've been like in this routine that's helping me also like gain a lot of energy, because I have not had the best energy. Like my energy has been super low. And I'm also trying to understand where all of that is rooted from. And I think I know where that is coming from. But it's a battle between my mind and my heart. It's a battle between this wave of sadness just came over me again. It happened to me like twice today. This is the third time. A lot of us are in battle with our mind. We're battling with our energy. I'm not sure what this means for you in your life, collective, so define it however. But I'm feeling a lot of heavy. So if you are one in this position, to really just focus on what will make you laugh, what will make you think hopeful, what is going to give you that boost. I remember Thanksgiving night, there was a lot of crying. There was a lot of releasing. There was a lot of clearing for me. And I found myself in this deep emotional pain. And I think a lot of it too is tears of joy, because there has been a lot of healing happening. And when we find ourselves in healing energy, a lot of this raw, true and real truth coming to face you, that hurts you too, right? Because a lot from what you had experienced in your childhood was unwholesome. And so now you're stepping into what feels like wholesome. And that's scary. Going from feeling unwholesome and experiencing unwholesomeness, experiencing negativity, and then going from that to complete wholesome is two different sides of the spectrum. And it's not easy to carry right away. Like it's not an instant like, oh, I'm healed, yay. No, it's, oh, I'm healing. I'm healing. I'm healing. And then you start to cry, and then you start to feel confused, and then you start to feel like all of these emotions are running, you know, through in and out of you. That comes with a lot of thoughts, that comes with a lot of realizations. And it's hurtful. It's painful. I don't think healing is supposed to make us feel good right away. I think it's supposed to really just calm our nervous system, and really regulating our nervous system, and then grounding us in our true energy, grounding us in our energy, in our essence, and in having us realize that this is now healing. You've now stepped into healing, and be prepared, because a lot of this is going to come to you feeling raw, feeling like you are in your emotions and you are in your true feelings, and you've never felt like this before. And it's because you're healing. It's because you are one willing to heal. And as you heal, clarity comes in. A lot of the stuff from the past comes in. that you never thought you'd face. I'm getting this energy of significance, childhood trauma. We've been talking about that. Energy of you experienced molestation when you were a kid. Okay, take this as it resonates, collective. This may not resonate to a lot of you, but hey, if it does, here you are, you found me, let's talk about it. And we don't got to talk about it in a way that's going to hurt you and put you more in pain. We can talk about it with an open heart, and we can talk about it let me grab an incense. 1 second, you guys, sorry. I just want to do this for you guys because you deserve it. I'm getting this energy of, I'm hearing, I am the way that I am today because of that. Heard. It deserves a whole lot of silence. It deserves silence. It deserves peace. It deserves, of course, your awareness. But you don't have to think about it in a way that's going to ruin you forever. You have an option to think about it, leave it behind, and then move on. Now, that may be easy to say, right? But we can choose to stay down and keep ourselves down. Or we can choose to face it head on, really healing you and then leading you up to having a family. For some of you who was molested as a kid, you are now one in present time, wanting to have a family, or you already are creating it. It's here, it's in the process. I'm getting that. Again, number 3 is very significant. You are finding yourself in celebration because you've healed from it and you've come to terms with it and you've really accepted yourself for it. And now you're in this process of like creating your own family and building your own family. That's beautiful. Happy for you. Collective. Turn to creativity when feeling sad. I think also in you having to step forward and moving forward and being in terms with that, accepting with that, collective, you're, just so you know, that's making you a lot stronger. I have strength, bottom of the deck. It is really like humbling you and really teaching you to be more for other people as well. That's beautiful. Like you could be one who have experienced molestation as a kid, and you could be one right now, like being a blessing to other people and teaching other people how to love themselves. Or you may be that person, you may be that woman, is what I'm getting, who is so driven to help other women who have been through the same thing, and you are one expressing to them, and you're expressing your truths to them, and they're hearing you and they're listening to you, and you know, they appreciate you. I'm getting that picture. like you were the one that had mastered your emotions when it came down to molestation. I hate that word. I fucking hate that word. But you know what else I'm hearing, collective? Is that you have mastered your emotions. You've mastered your emotions, and you are now being a blessing to other women who have been through the same, and not just women, men too. This happens to men all the time. It's disgusting. It makes me sick. You're fighting for that. You're fighting for that energy back. You're showing up completely different because of it. You're standing up for yourself. You're creating your own family. You're creating stability in your family. This process of building your own family is really healing that part of you. That part of you in your childhood where you felt helpless. And in that moment when this person touched you, completely helpless. But here you are, stepping out of it, mastering your own emotions, and really having to understand yourself and accepting. That's beautiful. Look at the moon, bottom of the deck. Also, heavy emphasis on full moon in Gemini, you guys. This is a time to really communicate all of that stuff to somebody. You may have a therapist who you speak this to. You may have a friend who really values what you say and who also gives you that insight that you need, that they know you need, and they are that support for you. They are that support system for you, collective. And I don't want this reading to be about just that, but I'm also not going to pretend that everything is cool, because it's not. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't been. I think the world has just been like through so much. I'm not gonna pretend here and do readings where it's all good and positive. You know what I mean? Because it's not all good and positive. It's not all smiles and laughter. No. Although that's where we want to be. Although that's where we want to be and choose to be. And that's what we also like to inspire people to do and to go. But it's not always going to be rainbows and butterflies. And I suppose that we are here today to talk about it, to really pay attention that it's not all good. But in the bad, we can also find the good. In the pain, we can also find something greater. Tap into your spiritual power. Reach out to a power greater than yourself to help solve a dilemma. Stay open to its guidance in your life. This comes back to your self-trust, your intuition, collective. A lot of this coming to surface for you in this season is rooted in childhood trauma, and that's something that you're healing from a lot and really having to put your awareness in. I'm going to pull up another one here. Honor your inner child. I had posted I post contents on my Instagram. You guys can also find me on there. All of those info will be down in the description box, you guys. I'll put that on there for you. But I had posted on my Instagram, and in it I had said, remember yourself as a child, okay? Because I was talking about how a lot of us is being isolated because we have a problem with lust. All right, moving on to a different subject here. And what I had said was, remember yourself. This was the message that I got. Remember yourself as a child and who you were as a child, even before you knew what sex meant to you. Even way before a time you knew about sex, right? Remember yourself to be that person. Remember yourself as this innocent, pure child. Honor that. Come back to that. Let that thought heal you. Making shifts here. There's a lot of shifts going on internally. When we put our attention in it, shifts, and we're moving on to the next. That's what I'm getting. If you are one who has a problem with lust and you know this, and you are someone who is aware of this and you can't get yourself out of it, and you find yourself to not want to get out of it, it's a deeper wound, and it's one to take heed on, because it's only going to continue to harm other people who don't deserve it because of your unawareness. Does that make sense, collective? So if you are one who has a problem with lust, remember yourself as a child. Remember yourself to be as this child, this pure, innocent child, who you were as a child, who you truly were. Even, okay, let's say, like, remember yourself as a teenager. The time when you were just alive and free-spirited, innocent person. Before your mind was corrupted, before the world corrupted your heart. Think of yourself as this person. Think of yourself as your inner child, your self, your true self. And then focusing on what this inner child needs. The healing that this inner child needs. I remember a time, I'm just getting a lot of energy of this, like, pain from this experience that you had in your childhood. Take this as it resonates. Collective, you are one to just really sit in what feels like purity. Focus on your inner child's needs. Is your inner child afraid or in need of more playtime? Cherish this precious being within you. I feel like this is more about coming back to what feels real and coming back to your own self before you were corrupted by this world. I laugh because there are things to laugh about, not because that was funny, but because sarcasm. I don't know. You're becoming more in what feels more like resilience, collective. And I think you're really finding that balance within yourself now, because you've accepted a lot about your past. And in accepting, and especially in self, and accepting yourself, you're not just like accepting other people, accepting things about what's going on in your life, but you're accepting a whole lot about yourself, different aspects of yourself, right? And you've gained a lot of love from it as well. You've cultivated this love within yourself because of all of it, is what I'm getting here. I'm speaking to a very specific person. I am a limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. Remember what I said about that willingness, that eagerness, that energy that you're bringing about to your life? This is what you're getting back because of it. Your world is shifting. Your inner world is shifting. That's great. Change is good. For some of us, we may not be comfortable with change, and isn't it crazy to think that some of us would rather stay in scarcity than abundance? No, not this season. I acknowledge my fear, but I replaced it with the insight of awareness. You could have been the one in denial about this. And now you're coming out with it, open heart, with so much love. But you're not just, you know, expressing it to everybody. Like, you're not just expressing it to everyone. You're expressing it to people who value you, who creates space for you because of it, because they are a loyal, true friend. And when you are down, they feel down, and they feel the need to provide for you, and they do. I am aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. And as you go about having to express all of these emotional wounds from your childhood, you're finding trust within yourself again. And that's beautiful, collective. That's exactly where we should be. Heavy emphasis on the color green. I just want to put that out there. I think like that's something I needed to say. While there are people disregarding your truth, this is exactly what I had written down here for you guys. While there are people disregarding your truth, collective, when you speak your truth, this could be triggering to them because they have never known their own truth. And this season is showing you that. So, like I said, you're not just expressing your wounds, your emotional wounds, your trauma, and whatever's coming to surface to anybody. You're picking and choosing and selecting who you want to speak it to about. You have a best friend who values you, and you're very careful on who you tell it to, who you express it to, okay? Because you know you are this person who is aware that if you were to tell it to somebody who isn't comfortable with this and who is not really comfortable in hearing it, you know you're going to trigger them, and that's something that you're staying away from. You don't want to have to trigger anybody because it weighs heavy on you already. You don't want any other problems involving anybody else. You just want to sit with it while honoring it and expressing it to a friend who values you and your words. So while you may find yourself in a group, or I'm getting this image of like you're in someone's home and there's a group of people there and you're expressing your truth, and some people are walking away because they're getting triggered, or somebody is like talking over you or not letting you speak up because they're very triggered by your truth, collective. And it's coming out very strong, but know that you are still able to honor this. Just because they're getting triggered, it does not mean that it does not mean to dishonor your sensitivities, your vulnerability. There's hair on my mouth, I'm sorry. This season is really showing you that you can express and be it okay, and feel supported and feel loved about it, and not feel like you're being unseen, or you feel like you're unseen, you're unheard, but really putting yourself in a place where you are appreciated. Thank you. Collective, this has been 48 minutes. Okay. Another significance here that I have written down. If you are having vivid dreams, collective, turn to them. I'm hearing turn to them and pay attention to these dreams. These dreams can provide for you. These dreams also have like very specific messages, like very detailed messages is what I'm getting, that you need to provide for you and to guide you in your waking life. So take heed on that, collective, if you are having vivid dreams. Be a comfort to yourself. Comfort is an inside job. Speak to yourself in a loving, positive way. I have been speaking to myself and giving myself the comfort as well. I find myself, when I find myself in my downtime, I like to just sit and express and just say whatever comes out of it, and just say whatever comes to mind. You can be one finding yourself speaking to yourself a lot more than usual. That's a very heavy message for someone. You could be finding yourself to be in discussion, in contemplation. Like, this is more about like a more mature discussion or a mature thinking that you're experiencing, okay? And you're finding comfort in it. You're really having to just understand yourself without anyone else's voice clouding it, if that makes sense. And so in like speaking to yourself, it gives you also the confidence. It like boosts your self-esteem and your confidence. I seen and read this post somewhere along the lines of, when we speak our truth, we are also healing inflammation in our body. Inflammation that is stuck in our system, in our body. When you speak your truth, you heal those inflammations, okay? I just want to put that out there. So going back to that vivid dream, turn to that dream and let that be a guide to your waking life. Collective, I think that's all I have for you today. You guys can find me on Instagram, TikTok. I will put all of the information down on the description below. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you for your continued love and support. I have been reading you guys' comments, and it gives me so much hope. And I appreciate your love, and I appreciate your support so much. You have no idea. Happy holidays, you guys. I will see you in the next. Take care of yourselves.